are you gonna do the ones where I suck in the beginning?
I took your last stream,
Good.
so
That's the good one where I'm
yeah.
crushing everything.
Ugh.
All right, guys, welcome to my review of Mega Man X. Damn, that's
Yes!
right. I was
Hey.
never a Mega Man player as a kid. Friends played it. Everyone recommended it. This is like a franchise that just for some reason never
When we
got
found out
into
you
it,
hadn't played it, but we kind of forced you to.
They kind of forced me to, and I thought, this game is like $20 for 4 of them. Like I can at least get a good feel for how the game is. And these are the ones on the Super Nintendo and shit. So as much as I love Donkey Kong Country and Super Mario and Metroid and all that stuff, I'm like, these are all on the same console. So of course, this is probably gonna be the same caliber of feel at least. So I was like, I gotta give this a shot. I gotta see if this franchise is good. Okay, I can't believe I haven't played it before, if I'm being honest. So I will. Here, let's get through the juice of it first. What is it? Developed by Capcom, released January 1994. So on the Super Nintendo, I presume, and what? Some other bullshit, or that was it?
That was it.
Only on Super Nintendo when it originally released.
And
though
I guess
it is
Super
now,
Famicom, right?
Yeah,
on the
Super
Famicom, yeah, which is we're gonna couple those
Synonymous.
in from but then so now you can get it all over
everything.
the place, everything. So I got it on the Switch. This was $20 for all 4 of the X games, or that many at least.
The first 4 X games.
The first 4 X games. Which I played the first of. It's available on here. It says Super Nintendo, PS4, Xbox One, PS3, Xbox 360, Wii U, PC, Mac, PS4, Xbone. Sorry. I know it, man. Xbox One. Everything. What did I like about this game? Okay, here we go. I almost feel like that shouldn't be the first one because it's like so like I almost want to talk about like the little parts.
Yeah,
of the
I guess
game
it's kind of like
almost,
very.
you know what I mean? It's kind of like
talk about whatever you want.
I'll
you
talk
don't
about
have to
whatever
start
I want though.
Yeah.
So this game is very interesting in how, okay, like in Mario, like for example, Mario is always Mario. He doesn't get like more powerful. You get power ups and stuff, but like it's very different. Donkey Kong, you're always like this like type of like strength. Even Kirby, which is the game I relate this most to, honestly, which is I know kind of weird.
Yeah,
I think this game to me feels like Kirby All-Stars 75%, 25% like Metroid, maybe even like 45% Metroid, and the other way Kirby All-Stars. But like that being like your character basically can absorb all these abilities, you become stronger and stronger. It's such a cool idea and premise because this is something we more see like in RPGs and like adventure games where your character becomes really impressive and awesome in different ways. And it's awesome to see that in a platformer, in my opinion. This is like something super unique. Like Donkey Kong doesn't have like machine guns at the end of the game. He's still Donkey Kong, you know what I mean? And Mario gets a cape, but like you still get hurt and you lose the cape. So Mega Man literally gets like fucking 10 fucking guns and all this armor and all these extra tanks of like health and health bars and all these shields and all this shit. And it's really cool to just upgrade your character. That being said, it's a bitch finding that shit, but like, it's really cool that there is that much content in the game for that. So what did I like? I think the platforming starts out really difficult. The beginning of the game is probably the hardest part, like learning how the mechanics work and stuff. Once you get your dash, you can kind of get a feel for the platforming, which then becomes a lot more impressive. And to me, having the wall jump and all that shit, this is a very impressive platformer, just like stating as a fan of platformers. You can be very fluid. I can see how speedrunning it is just godly and feels very smooth and awesome. But in the beginning, for a new player especially, it is a very difficult game. Just like gonna say it. Like
got
it's
a
very
crazy
difficult.
learning curve.
It has a crazy learning curve right off the bat. The very first level, you're not even sure. I didn't even know which one to play, of course, like until you guys came in. Like I had a good team on this game, I will say. I had 3 people or more that like really knew what to do in this game and kind of guided me through. So I will down to the part to something that I didn't like about this game, but also did like about this game is that it's not something I really could have tackled by myself. As far as like, I would have been so horrible if I did this by myself and just got to the boss. Like I can't imagine having beaten this game without having collected as much stuff as I did.
Can I throw a caveat in there?
Maybe what's up?
So, and I mentioned this before when we had talked about it, but the difference between your playthrough now and like everyone else's playthrough back in the day is 2 things. Number 1, user manual, right?
Yep.
So games back then came packaged with your manual that told you that there were, these certain items that you could find. It didn't tell you where to find them, but it told you they existed, so you knew to look. As well as, gave you your like movement instructions, things like that, basic instructions on how to play the game, which doesn't really exist today. And then the second one
those.
being that we kind of rushed you through this game, and I actually want to apologize for that, because this is a game that you kind of want to let marinate. You want to go into a level and like be totally beat down and baffled as to why you couldn't beat this boss, or why you couldn't find that item, or even get to a certain item. You might have just seen in the gameplay in the background that last E-Tank. The first probably 5 times I played through this game, I had no idea how to get that E-Tank. Right?
Yeah.
So
it took me a while in the beginning. I was like, what the fuck do I do? Just staring at it.
Right, exactly.
I mean, I probably would have figured that out once I got the boomerang eventually.
So
but
all I'm saying is that we kind of put you in a unique position to not enjoy the game the way it was necessarily intended to be played.
Maybe not the way it was intended, but that's not to say I didn't enjoy it. Sure. And I will say that as someone who does like to consume games a little more heavily, so again, the negative and positive of it is I was kind of forced to learn the mechanics, which made me better at the game faster, which I thought was kind of a plus in the long run. But it also made my natural inspiration about the game kind of lower. But honestly, that's where the negative and positive comes in. It's a huge plus that this game has so much exploration. You can literally play 10 levels for 2 years before you find all the shit. But it's also kind of damn, it would have been impossible for me to beat this game though. I don't even know how the fuck I couldn't play it for that long. So that's kind of where I'm okay, interesting. It's different. It's different. Not normally in Donkey Kong, you just run through the same level over and over again, until you find all the secrets. It's not as difficult, I feel because you can still beat the game without having to collect all that shit. But then eventually you can find it. But in this game, it's the learning curve is so harsh, and the need for lining up your gun with certain bosses and shit is so crucial that it's fucking insane amounts of trial and error. And I'm assuming they updated the autosave for the remade version. So on the Super Nintendo, you probably got fucked.
Yeah.
You probably
you know what you got, Josh?
You got fucked, dude.
You got codes. You got codes.
Hold on, Paul. I have this.
If you don't have the
you got a notebook
level unlocked, and know how to farm lives, once I learned the lives farming thing from Adam, that was really awesome in the Armadillo level. You can get a ton of lives that way.
Yeah, you can get.
But you don't know that right off the bat. Maybe you're not prepped for that level even yet. So maybe you didn't even attempt it. But fuck. Shit, I would have gotten boned. Damn.
One other thing on the whole mechanics. This is the first game in the X series. It is far from the first Mega Man game. Yeah. And so if you were a fan of Mega Man games before, you would have been familiar with a lot of, not all of the mechanics obviously, but a lot of the mechanics leading up to this point. And so that is another thing that I feel might have been a little bit of a detriment to you jumping straight into this, but still,
I didn't really
understand.
You said, I didn't understand the mechanics at first, the wall slides and stuff.
I don't know how this is going to show up on camera, but
those are passwords that
that is a screen grab.
It sounds like hell, dude.
I
would just not be able to handle that. So the quality of life enhancements, I'm basically reviewing it based on the version I did. I don't think I would be grading it as generously if there were more if there weren't as many quality of life enhancements. I don't know why that's a thing. Some games just did and didn't have that. And also I thought that was kind of a drawaway for certain games. Any game that used a memory card in the N64 or the Super or anything in that era, I was kind of shying away from just because it felt weird. I was what? Every other good Nintendo game like Zelda and shit just has a save file. Can we just save the fucking game? So it felt weird to me every time I had to enter a password. And I think I was kind of turned off from games that were like that at a young age. I have a few but But anyway, so I'm so glad about that enhancement. So what else did I like about the game? The bosses are fucking awesome. There's such a variety in this game. The weapons are incredible. I can't that should have been the first thing I said. This game has awesome levels that once you get the speed running down, I am all about being able to consume levels as fast as possible. And I really tried. I don't know how good I do here, but once I got in the last 25% of my run, I was really starting to crush shit. And you get better and better and better, and you start knowing which weapons are gonna just plow through shit. I love the fucking wind tunnel guy that just kills everything. You just keep
I use that one a lot.
Yep.
I like that
one too.
The bosses are really creative and awesome, and really take a lot of skill and learning of patterns in order to beat them. And you still get the shit beaten out of you no matter what. So it's just very Cupheady, but you can also like put more armor on yourself and like, which I think makes you do eventually get really good at the game and better. But because of the buffs, I think you don't get like absolutely expert at the game until like you play it like religiously. Like for me, I'm not an expert at the game, obviously. I definitely am okay at the game because I can beat it, but like I'm not nearly like great at the game. Like just because like I did get so many buffs that like I can still get hit a ton, I know. And I know I can heal myself and shit. So I'm like, okay, but like some people definitely don't get hit and are just like plowing through it, you know. But it's definitely a game that I like that there is that progression of learning because it's just like so nice to be able to like be like a god at the end, which is really cool. Like you're just awesome, and the last boss fight feels very satisfying.
Dude,
the end of the game,
watching you finish that was incredible.
Yeah,
dude.
I will say the end of the game, I almost gave up, and literally I was like one last try. That was like the third time I had said that, and I really meant it that time, and I really didn't even want to do this last run. And then I gave it my all, and I fucking did it. And dude, it was the flow state. I literally was perfectly in the zone. It was awesome. It was a great moment in gaming. The end of this game is incredible. This game feels so damn good to play. It is a great platformer overall, I will say. Like, I just have to give it like praise so we can actually say things about the game. I feel like I'm just like being like paraphrasing things about it mostly, but like it is actually really amazing. The story is really awesome. There's great reveals at the end. And it just feels like you immediately enter this massive world that now I want to find out more about, like once the end of the game happens. And there's a lot of questions in the beginning that kind of feel like it's just a whatever story. And then you get more and more. And then at the end, it's revealed and all this stuff is revealed and you feel, and then you realize you're entering like a larger world. And that feels so great. You know what I mean? Like you enter all this lore and now the characters like reach out in different lore directions and you get a much bigger story web. Mm-hmm. And I know that there's that many more games out there. So it's pretty awesome. So that's all good. You know, that's all good. Let's see. What didn't I like about the game? Like pretty much where I was kind of interlacing it in there, but like just like the knowledge of like control schemes and stuff like that. It's just the learning curve is like, but you know, I can't be mad at the game for being difficult. So
well,
you know,
some
only
of that,
a little
Josh,
bit against
though,
that, you know.
One thing we didn't mention earlier is like when I was learning Mega Man, it was like just long enough into the life cycle of the Super Nintendo that we had lost the manuals at that point.
Oh yeah.
But but that was, as you will recall, the era of couch co-op.
Yeah.
And the era of a player two, like kind of looking over your shoulder, like, oh, hey, when you try that thing again, do this thing.
Yeah.
And you have a second set of eyes on it.
Big time. Yeah.
So, and I think that's part of why streaming it, as I did with Battle Network a little while ago, and as Adam and I did with 30XX, is you have that second voice to remind yourself, okay, we're not speed running this game.
Yeah.
And some people are, but like you and I are not speed running this game. We're enjoying it. We're taking it slow. We can slow down and really focus on what we're trying to do. And one of the weird things about this game, and I just wanted to throw this in here while you're talking about things that you don't like about it, is the game speed, the pace at which most of the game happens, forces you to want to speed run, even in the boss fights, which are difficult.
Yeah.
And you have to stop yourself. I will physically pause the game right before I walk into the boss room and just remind myself to slow down.
I feel like the Zero series does that even more so.
Yes.
Like
yes, they
just
do.
the nature of how you play a Zero, you want to rush through everything.
You dash constantly.
Yeah.
Like once you, I mean, you have dash right from the beginning, I believe. Mm-hmm. And you're just, that dash button is, there's a reason that my R button is worn out on my my SP.
Yeah. Oh, here's a boss fight. Look at me go. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, so I would say, yeah, gameplay is very fun, but brutal, but rewarding. So rewarding gameplay is what I am most gratified by in a game when I feel like I really got better at the game. There is no way to beat this game without getting better at it. Like literally bottom line, this is a game that you actually have to get better at to beat. You can't just like fall through it. I can even say like the Donkey Kong games, which are very hard. I still think people could stumble through eventually, like without much skill. But like this game actually requires a great deal of skill to get through. Like, fuck you. When I beat it, I knew I did awesome. Like it wasn't an accident. I fucking crushed it. It was glorious. God damn. That was intense. So gameplay is really fun, although some parts feel a little clunky. I know it's movement based and all that, but for God's sakes, when the fact that people can respawn immediately when they're off screen, like makes wall jumping off long corridors very difficult. Yes. And that was a very not super enjoyable part for me because you cannot shoot up. And I understand that you cannot shoot up because it's not Metroid. But at the same time, I would have loved if the respawn was a little further away, like at least like a block away, so that like wall jumping corridors weren't as like brutal.
So you have a chance to get up on top of the ledge.
Yeah, but you do get to learn the abilities, and there's like invincibility and shit like that, and the bumper, whatever, and like so there is stuff around this, and you learn.
Even your fully charged Buster, once you have the Buster upgrade, it shoots behind you as well. Like there's that field of energy behind you, so like you can be like wall riding and shoot, and you won't necessarily be aiming at something, but that blast behind you will kill whatever's next to you.
That's what I need.
Yeah.
Because I was always shooting the other way by accident too. But just because you need to like push, but you're also trying to push against the wall, but you're trying to push in the other direction to shoot. So you're like, okay, yeah, this is like a little tricky. So, but it's technical and I get it. And I feel like the controls are really good. I'm like overall, like the controls were well done for a Super Nintendo game. Like this game has a lot to offer and a lot to learn. The art, I'm not going to lie, the art isn't really like my favorite art style. I think I like it better as a Super Nintendo game. I don't know if it holds up as well now as like a Donkey Kong or a Mario. I think it does look pretty damn good though. I know. I don't know. I'm not trying to be mean about it, but I feel like it does hold up pretty damn good.
I mean, you may be right. I've got serious nostalgia glasses for this game, so
it's great.
Like,
it's great.
I think it's one of the best looking games.
For me, it's like I know. I'm not saying it's bad, but it takes like a cartoony vibe with like it's like a serious cartoony vibe, but it's also on the Super. So for me to play it for the first time, I'm like, okay, I get that, but like then there's like Metroid and shit, and like everything else kind of takes like and Mario's hyper cartoony. So like to me, in the middle, but on the Super, it almost feels like it does fall flat slightly for holding up wise as far as history is concerned, like for a new player, just because like at the time I feel like that would have been more exciting for me, you know what I mean? But now I'm like, oh yeah, I get what they're trying to do, like that kind of cross between like really awesome futuristic and cartoony at the same time. But like I don't know if it just like this part right here, this corridor, motherfucking corridor. I hate this. It's gonna be PTSD just watching it. Okay, so the art, like I like the art. If I had to just grade the art alone, I would probably give the art like a 7-ish, 5 maybe. Yeah. But again, it's just not like my favorite.
Sure.
The music is fucking awesome. The music is the best part of the game, baby.
So
not even gonna lie. Aside from the gratification of beating a boss and the end of the game, the music is the best part.
Some of my favorite video game music ever.
It's really damn good. Yes. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, this is the stuff that I listen to while I paint.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 score for sure.
Yeah, when Adam does his art, he plays Mega Man X music.
I actually sent him the sound or the playlist.
The sound as well is very good. The sound is a 10 and the music is a 10. The sound is just very spot on, and I really feel immersed in the game based on everything that is going on, based on Mega Man's like impact with his gun and everything. Like the impact sounds are great. Like all of it sounds good. The levels sound great. You feel like you're there. It's awesome. It's a very immersive platformer. I really like that about it, based on the sound and based on the music. How long did it take me? I think it took me 5 to 6 hours overall. And I was kind of like dicking around for a lot of it. So like it really like a 6-hour game, and it should have taken me like 2 years to beat. Yeah, I smashed it in there. Like fuck. Like
Adam mentioned in the chat earlier that it's like first time it's like a 30-hour game that you'll later be able to beat in an hour. You know?
Yeah. So a 6-hour game, I could probably eventually, this was it difficult? Yes, this game is extremely difficult. This game is Cuphead difficult, but maybe not expert Cuphead difficult. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So like, although this game is difficult, there was a certain point where I started to become like pick up speed and be able to crush through bosses faster and faster and faster. And, and finding the stuff was helpful, obviously like having you guys there to find it. But then I found my skills improving faster, as I was collecting more and as I was like learning the like how the power-ups worked and how Mega Man felt. So I felt like, and I was able to grasp like how to beat levels on my own at a certain point. I was like, okay, this is great. Like, so it is a hard game, but again, the learning curve allows you to become better at it, which is great because that's what you want, is to be better at the game. Would I play a sequel? I mean, there's so many sequels. Yes, I will play a sequel. I will unpack there, but yes, I would absolutely play a sequel to this game and own several as we speak. So I might as well. Overall rating and impression. All right, is this where we do it?
Yeah, you guys want to bust it all out at once,
and then we talk about it. All right, ready? Wait here. Where are you? Here, and then hold up. Where are you? Okay. Ready? Oops. I had it zoomed in so you can see it. And this is mine. Overall rating.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Go team! Look at that.
That's hilarious.
All 8.5s basically, except 1.86.
I went slightly higher.
So,
Just because
I would give this game, for those who have an audio file, I voted it at 8.5, as well as Zach and Paul gave it 8.6, right?
No, I gave 8.5. Zach gave 8.6.
Me and Paul gave it 8.5, and Zach gave it 8.6, which is hilarious. I thought I was gonna have the highest score, honestly, by the way you guys were describing it. So for me, this game is great. If I had played this on the Super Nintendo as a kid, I might have given this in the 9s. I feel like, because of the nostalgia a little bit. This game was really impressive. The downfalls were things that were improved, I guess, like in the save file and whatnot, and like learning things. Like, so I couldn't really knock it too much, but it was mostly like the aggravation of like, you know, the things I couldn't quite figure out at first, and like the up shooting, god damn it, and like a few things that were frustrating. But I can't knock the game too much, and there were so many redeeming qualities, and I am overall really glad and feel like a bigger gamer, like feel better at gaming having added this to my repertoire. So 8.5 for me. Excellent. I think that it's deserving of that score. Yeah, I think that's a solid game tour. Yeah. But if it's the highest scoring Mega Man game, that makes me sad, actually.
I wouldn't say it's the highest scoring Mega Man game.
Okay. Oh, that's good to know.
I'll explain my score here in a sec when we're finished with the full on review, and
we'll
get
do an
into
intensive
that.
Q&A with.
I think that's my review. Yeah.
That's it. All right, let's switch back and we'll talk a little deeper on this.
Get me out of that corridor, please. I hate this.
Okay.
Oh, it's so pitiful to watch.
So